All right, so let's begin. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to put here the logic where I can press on the buttons here, and then you'll be able to delete. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the rating next to the movie name. So let's do that. So I'll come here, I'll come to where there is this is the project. So I'll come to where there is movie title here. So let me do like this. I'll remove it, and then I'll put $sign and put movie title there. Then I put dash, and then I put the rating. Okay, so let me put here rating. Okay, like this. So we're having that. Okay, so you have the rating, and then you have the movie title. So here where there was the trailing button, I'm going to put here the button for deleting, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll just simply put icon, and then I put icons dot trash. Okay, I think trash is there. Let me put dot delete. Yeah, delete is there. So I can put color, and I put color to be red. So if I save, I should be having the movie name, and then the title of the movie, and then the movie name, and then the deleting. So I want us to be able, if you click here, you should be able to do what? To delete. If we click here, you should be able to delete. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, I'll just simply come here and surround it with what? With the listener, with a listener, the press listener. So we're going to simply surround it with what? With a widget, for example, and then I remove this center and I put what? Inkwell, like this. And then this inkwell will have a parameter on what? On tab. So on tab, we're going to open here and then put here the logic of deleting. Okay, so that's where we're going to put the logic of deleting. So to delete a movie, you can either call it directly from here, or you can write the function separately. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the function maybe separately that will be calling for deleting movies. So I can call it delete underscore movie. All right, so I'm going to give this function the movie that it should delete. So I'll just simply put here the index, the movies, then pass the index. So this function, I'll be calling it, and I want to delete. So I'm going to create this function within this activity. So to create it, I can just move my mouse over there and press Alt and Enter to get these options. So I can just simply come here and then look for these options, right? So I say create method. So it's going to create for me here the function. Okay, it's going to create for me the function. So here I can call maybe movie like this. All right, so here I'm going to do the logic of deleting. Okay, so we can write a method of deleting. This is just asking whether I want to delete or not. Let me just simply this is just a pop-up. Do you want to delete a movie? All right, let's just remove this dialog. All right, this is a show dialog box. It asks you if you want to delete or not. All right, let's just get rid of this. Let's keep it simple. Okay, so in this delete movie method, we're going to put a method that's going to delete. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to just write a method in the movie model that will be helping us to do the logic of deleting an item. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll just simply come and open this movie model here, and then I'm going to put a method called delete. Okay, or delete item. All right, they're just like though we have the save method. Okay, so this is going to be much more like the select. Do you have the select method or the get method? Get movies. You remember this get movies method. Okay, is going to be much more like that. So let's go ahead and just duplicate this, and then we're going to change it to what? To delete. So let's go ahead and do that. Or it can yeah, it can be like saving method. All right, so let's go ahead and okay, let me just write it. So let's say it's not going to be, let's say just it's going to return a string, and then we're going to call it okay, it's going to return future string, future, and then string, and then we're going to put delete movie. Okay, so after we can make it even what? We can make it static, so it can be even accessed outside it. So delete movie or delete item, and then after you open, so it should be accepting a movie that it wants to delete. So I'll put here movie, and I put M, for example, for the one movie that I want to delete, and then maybe we can put here a string of response and make it empty like this. So now what we're going to do, or maybe you can even be accepting here maybe IDs. Okay, so I can simply put here an ID, a movie ID, or the movie that I want to delete. So I'll just simply do that, and then I put here the response and make it nothing. So, and I come at the end of the bracket and return response. So you have to put here asynchronous like this. All right, so now let's go ahead and check and initialize the database. So that is the database equals to whatever like this. Then first check if the database was successful or not. So if database is none, make response equal to fail to initialize database, and then we return response like this. All right, so after making sure the database is created, the next thing we can write now the SQL for deleting. Okay, so you can sound this SQL with try and cache. Okay, so you just simply say db delete, then you put the table name, db.delete, then you put the table name, then you put where, and then you open this bracket and put this condition, and then you pass the arguments. Or you can just simply say where, and then you pass here the ID as it is. Or you can use this method by saying where, you pass the ID, and then you say equal to, and then put your question mark, then you say arguments, and then you organize these arguments in this kind of array as how you arranged them here in parameters. So if it successfully deletes, I'll keep this string empty. If it fails, I'll make the response to be failed to delete movie because, and then I get the string and I put, and then I return the response here. So let me repeat this method again. The method is called delete item, or you can just simply call it maybe delete. All right, so this delete, it will be accepting the integer or the item that you want to delete by ID. Then it says we open it, it will be a method that can delay. So method that can delay, you will have to put future, and if there's something that you'll be expecting after delay, you put future, and then you specify with the method with the data type that you want to return, and then you put here asynchronous. Then this is going to be a response. The response by default is 0. It is nothing. So on the other side, we'll be checking if the response is nothing, then we know it was successful. So I come here and say database is equal to db utils init, and then say open database, and then I say if database is null, I make the response to say fail to open database, and then I return the response. Then if it passed there, I'll go ahead and say db delete, and then I say movie. I say db, this db that you insert to create it, and then say dot delete, and then you put movie, and then say table, and then say where, and then say equal to, then what else, we go ahead and say where argument. So this have to be like this. So in case you have more condition, you can separate them comma as you put the values, or you can just simply directly put here like your ID. Okay, so I can just simply put here like this ID, and then I remove these arguments. That can also work. Okay, so I say if it passes this, I try surrounding to try and catch. If it passes this, I make then it is successful. Then I make the response nothing. If it fails, I put something in the response. So in the other side, we'll be checking the response is nothing. We know it is successfully deleted. So now let us go back to our front end. Okay, so this is our front end, and this is the method that is used to call a database. You can even remove this one, and I call it within the button itself. It's all the same. Let me show you. So here, okay, so I'm going just to call here from here. So I'm going to say movie.delete. So .delete. So I use the movie model, and I said what? Delete. So since it will take time, I can go ahead and do what? And wait for the response. So I say string maybe response equals to await, like this. So if you put await here, you have to put what? Async, like this. So it will be able to wait. So I'll go ahead and check like this. Okay, so I'll check if response is not empty, and then I'll go ahead and make a toast and say failed to delete a movie, and then I post here. Otherwise, and I return if the response was successful, I make a toast, I say movie deleted successfully. If the response is empty, it will pass here, and then say movie deleted successfully. Okay, so after I can now update. So to update, I'll just simply say get movies. You remember this method, this method that we call to update. So I call it, and then to update my movies. So like this, it will be able to do what? Delete the movie. So let's go ahead and try that. So I click here. So you see movie deleted, and it disappears from our database. Right. So I also remove this one and remove this. You see, they're disappearing. You see, they're disappearing. Maybe let us display the IDs. So to display ID, I can just simply come here and say maybe index. Like this. See? So let me delete this one. So it has been deleted. Or not index, you can just simply display the ID as it is. For example, if I want to display the ID. So I go ahead and delete. So if I want to display by the index, I can just simply say, maybe beginning from the latest movie dot length minus what? Minus index, and then I surround them in a bracket like this. So it begins from number 7 up to number 1. So when you delete that, then you see you have that number of what? Of movies. So I hope you can also be able to do that. I hope you can be able to do that. I delete that, it disappears. I delete that, you see, it disappears. I delete, no movies added yet. Even if I click on fetch, there is no movie. So if I come here and I simply say movie, which movie? Money Heist. Oh, that's the spelling, by Simple Actor, and then I say rating is 5.0. I go ahead and add the movie. So the movie is there, it has been added. Okay, I can go ahead and add another movie, Prison Break, and then I say maybe by Jack Bauer. Then I put the rating as 4.3. Submit. It has been added. So that is how we implement that. So alright, so lastly, let us look at how you can edit. Okay, how you can edit something and do what, and be able to update the database. All right, so what you're going to do, we're going to put a button of editing here. So when you click on it, you should be able that information should be able to pop up here in the screen, and you should be able to edit that information. All right, so let's go ahead and do that logic. All right, so let's go ahead and put the leading. So this is, we had the trailing icon, this one for delete. So on the same UI, you're going to put the leading icon, leading, and then we go ahead and put icon, and then open, and then say icon, sorry, icons dot what, icons dot edit, like this. All right, so I want someone to be able to click on this, and then that information should be filled in the screen automatically, and then we should be able to do what, to modify and update. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to write that logic. Okay? So what we're going to do, let's put the listener, and then when someone clicks there, we should do update the form and also the model, and then also maybe change the word submit to maybe update. All right, let us do that right now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put here and put there a widget, for example center, and then change this one to what, to Inkwell. All right, and then put there on what, on tap. Okay, so on tap we want to do what, to update the form. Okay, on tap we want to update the form and just replace it with everything in the movie. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. To update the form, you still remember I used to use what you call patch. You see, patch. I hope you have it somewhere here. Let me see, in our project. All right, let's go ahead and search it from Flutter. From Flutter Forms. Flutter Form Builder. So we come here, the documentation Flutter Form Builder, and then there is this thing that you used to update the screen, I mean the form, this one. Okay, is current system dot patch value. Okay, current state dot patch value. Let's go ahead and so to update the form, we just simply say our form dot current state. We can first reset it, for example. After resetting it, we say our form dot what, dot current state dot patch value, and then we pass the title, and then we put there the title, we put there the actor, and then we put there the what, the movies, I mean the rating. Okay, so if I click here, it should be able to, it's not doing so. All right, this form well initialized, form builder. All right, let's remove this reset. Hey, see the problem? I think, wait, okay, let's first remove these resets. Reset, remove it. Okay, all right, so when you click on edit, we get the form, and then dot current state dot patch value, and then you pass the title. So let us make sure that we have the name as title. So movie name field is title, yes, and then the what, yeah, everything is okay. All right, let's go ahead and first make the form data that you're editing. Form data, which is movie here. Let's first initialize its title to be what? To be the title of what we need to edit. Initialize the actor, initialize the rating. Okay, then after we say patch dot what dot title, and then dot actor, and then dot what, the rating, and then we set the state. Let's try that. Save. Yeah, it is working, eh? So we just put this one in the form data object. So when you edit here, this having null values, I don't know why. Okay, this one like this. Now the most important thing right now here is the ID. If you don't create the ID, it will mean that it will create another movie. Can you see? It is creating another movie which is almost the same. It is creating more movies, right? You see, it is creating more movies instead. So you have to update the ID. So put here dot what dot ID, and then make this ID to be the one of the what of the movie that you want to edit. So save, and then click on edit. All right, submit. See, it has come as, all right, it did not work, it did not update it, eh? All right, so let's go ahead and do what, and reset here. After resetting, so make sure this ID is the one that you want to edit. This is very important. So let's go ahead and do the reset. So let me first reset the form here. Let's put back our resets. So add movie. So let me put there on top the movie ID, just for us to see what we are editing. If the ID was there, that ID, like this. Save. So when I come here, I have that. Set to here. Save. I add. You see, it brings null. All right. What could be the reason? Let's remove it. All right, let me get this one. I want to be able to know which movie you're editing by coming here on top and put the ID that you need to edit, like this. All right, so if I press here, see, it is not updating the ID. It's supposed to update, I think. Let's put it here. It is okay there. Let me put it here. I just simply say text, and then I want just to display the ID of movie that you're going to edit. You can say editing. I want to be able to make sure that we know what we're exactly editing. So editing 3. So you see, when you say file 2, it is not working. So let us find out why. So let's go ahead and see where there is edit logic. Where there is edit. So when you press on edit, what does it do? It gets the title, it gets the actor, it gets the what, it gets the ID, and then it patch, think like this. Yep, save and see, and then set state. Let's see if there's anything in the console, because it is misbehaving. I think there is an error there. Yeah, there's an error. What are they saying? String our value from builder did change. Anonymous. All right, let's make this one to string and make all these on to string like that. Yeah, it is now okay. Okay, this rating is supposed to be, I think that's the reason. Rating is supposed to be a string, yet ratings are double. You know, this one will accept strings. I think that's the reason why it's not working. It has not been working. All right. So let's see our rating. Our rating field, the initial value should be our okay, let us make it 0. The initial value to be 0. Okay. So you click there. So let's go ahead and maybe, okay, I think that's now fine, because now we can change. You see here it is changing, so we were getting an error before. All right, so let me make this one, for example, money haste. Okay, let me make this one to prison break. All right, let's display the IDs instead of counts here. Let's play the IDs. Let's just display the ID instead of a count. So here we'll come on top and just display the ID, the movie ID. So you should know which one exactly we have edited. All right. All right, so we're displaying the ID, and then so that you should be able to know. So this movie ID has an ID number 4. This one has number 3. So if I come here and click on 1, you see editing movie which has an ID 1. So let me add there full stop, save, submit. So can you see it created a new one? Okay, so now that's where we need to work upon. Okay, we need to work upon that. Now when you're editing a value, when you're coming here to submit, where is submit? Submit is here, submit. Okay, so this is where we are saving. Okay, so this is add movie. Okay, add movie. So let me first toast what we need to edit, and I make sure that we know what we are exactly editing. The toast, I want to put here the ID, and we see if we have the ID first, because it's the ID that makes the difference. Return. Okay, so save. Now let's go ahead and be like editing this movie which has ID number 3. So I click on edit movie number 3, I submit. You see the ID is there, I will still have it. Now when you're saving, I told you that if you want to update something, there's what you call algorithm. So let's go to this method and we see. So if I click here, add movie, you'll see it does all this logic, and then after it does what it does, insert, it creates, where is it, here, save movie, right? So this is a save movie method. So if we go to the save movie method, you'll see, so here you have create movie, what and everything. So here is the algorithm conflict replace. So if this movie, if there's a movie which has the same ID, it is supposed to do what? Replace it here automatically. Okay, it's supposed to replace it. So that's how we can be able to edit. So let's first make sure that the ID is coming properly, and then we do what? We do the saving, right? So I'm going to put here and put in the console print and then say saving, and then I specify here the ID. Okay, I think the problem is to JSON here. To JSON, when you convert it to JSON. You see, when you're converting it to JSON, we don't convert the ID. That is the problem. So we have to convert the ID as well, so that the ID should be attached like this. Otherwise, it was making an ID to be by default by 0. Okay, and an ID 0 will be like a new value. Okay, so we have to specify also the ID. So if the ID is 0, you should be able to go there. So that is what we were missing. So let me explain this again. I'll come back to where there is submit. Here at submit, so we have add movie. Come to add movie. So this is a place where we are saving the movie. So I'll press Ctrl and go to there. So we initialize the database. We already done that. So this is where there's the whole point. So you say movie, and then you specify the table that you want to save in, and then you say you convert that data to JSON, right? So if the ID is not there, let's say that the ID is 0. So what does it mean? It means that is going to be created like a new record because the ID is not specified. So if you specify the ID and the ID is something that is already existing in the table, let's say that you specify the ID as 10 and there's a record which has ID called 10. So what will happen? It will replace that that particular record with that new record. So there's no new record that will be created, but rather update it. So and you can use this what we call conflict, this conflict to do what? To do the algorithm that you want. You can either replace, or you can you can create a new one. You can delete like this. So if you press here, you'll see the different algorithm. There is a replace, fail, and ignore. So if you put replace, if something has the same ID, it will be replaced. Good. So I hope you've understood that, right? Okay, so now coming back to this side of the user interface. So I want here, when you're saying edit movie, here when there is edit movie, instead of copying it one by one, since the same data type, we can just simply come here and just say equals to movie. To update this one, will be able to copy everything, like this. So everything now should be all right. Let me be like editing this one. See, you have null. Let me delete this. Okay, let me editing this one. So you see everything has come, and then the ID is there. So if I put here full stop, that is movie with ID number 4. So if I put here full stop and say submit, it is creating a new one. I don't know why. Did I save? Why? Okay, let us find out why it is creating a new value with the value null. Let's see that. All right, let's do the checks from here. Let me first return here, and then let's put everything here. So print dot, okay, the time is up. So you can just simply say print and then say movie.json to JSON, and then let's see what we can come up with. You see everything is null. So let me come here and try to edit this. So there's data there. There is data, and then you can see even the ID is there. Okay. Let me try to change it. Everything is there and the data is there. Okay, so let's do the same after checking. Maybe the issue is in checking. So you check. After checking, let's make sure that the data is there. Delete this guy. Click on edit. Click submit. The data is there as well. Good. So trying to debug. So I come here to add movie. Alright, I think the problem is here. Okay, the problem is here because we're supposed to wait. Let me remove this here, and let me remove this one here. I think this is the problem. It was resetting before it saves. Yeah, I think that was the whole problem. Okay, so update. Okay, you see, that was the whole problem of the whole thing. So we're editing movie number 2, submit. You see, movie number 2 has been submitted. So the whole problem here, it was supposed to wait, and we are not waiting, we are changing the values. That is the whole problem that we have been suffering from here. Okay, so now we have fixed that issue. So it was supposed to wait, but we're not waiting, and we'll go ahead and reset the form. So I'll be resetting the form after we have saved the movie. Add the movie, get movies, and then reset the form after successful movie creation. So you get it, eh? So I come here and change maybe this one to Prison Break. Prison Break. Actor of break, and then you say maybe version is 3.2. Okay, like this. So when I click on submit, you should be able to update this Prison Break. So click on submit, you see it is updating. So like that. Maybe I can go ahead and edit this, and then I come here from Money Heist. Maybe I can come and call it what? Drunken Master, and then call this one to Jackie Chan. Okay, submit. It is submitting. It is setting the rating to 0, and it changes this one to here. Let me add a new one. Okay, White Snake, Jet Li. Okay, there it is. I save. It adds it there as number 2, or as number 2. White Snake, Jet Li, number 2. All right, so I go ahead and edit. Okay, let me edit this one. So I update, it updates. All right, Jetly Master Lee. Good. So that is what you're going to try. Make sure that you can perform all the actions. Create the table, insert their data, and be able to delete data, and be able to edit data, and be able to update data. So you should perform all the CRUD operation. You should be able to perform them. So please try it, make sure that you understand it, and I'll give you a task to try out. So see you in the next lecture. We're going to take this one, where we are going to take this one to the next level. Goodbye. And make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't miss in the next lecture. Bye-bye. So my oli.
Yep.